Hey, how's it going? This is Ray Weiss from Conflict Simulations LLC, and I wanted to give a quick preview of our game, Mons 1914. It's at Villers Cotterets. It's a tactical game that covers a rearguard action near the end of the Mons campaign, and it features basically a very small British force which held off a gigantic German force. Um, so you can see this map I got done a couple of years ago. This was one of my older games that then I reworked with new rules. So this is, I guess our second map not to feature Ilya, but the artist instead is Shane Logan. So just to give you a quick idea of how the game works, it's a pretty simple structure. There's a movement, then a simultaneous fire phase. You know what? I should just open this up so we know exactly what it is and I'm not wrong later. So yeah, there's a simultaneous rally phase, a British fire phase, then a movement phase, a German fire phase, and then a German movement phase. So it's very, very simple structure. Units that you see over here, whenever they move or fire, that sometimes restricts, or that all the times restricts the amount of movement points they may have, or if they're able to fire during the next fire phase. So units are marked with fired moved markers, which are turned around depending on, what you want to signify. There's step loss counters as units take progressive losses. There's spotted markers because there is sort of like a hidden terrain rule where units that move into non-clear terrain that haven't fired yet, they are technically non-visible. They're out of LOS. So, yeah, that's basically a quick overview. The situation is that these forces over here, these British forces, have to hold off this force until about like 10 or some turns in, where this force over here gets to relieve them. And the goal of the Germans is basically to have a straight open line of communication from this road leading all the way down to over here. If at any point during the game they're able to clear a complete path of hexes, they, along that line, along that road, out through Villers Cotterets, then they immediately win. Just to give you an idea of the different types of units, there are infantry, cavalry. Cavalry and infantry function the same way, basically. You have machine guns, artillery, and heavy artillery. And leaders, something quick to note about British leaders is that they have an extra number on them. You can see the German leaders over there just have a negative number and then another number, where the British have 3. That's because the British actually feature, their leaders have strength points, whereas the German ones don't. And, yeah, there's a lot of, what's the word? Tributes, I guess, or shout-outs to other tactical games. I always like the rate of fire system from ASL, so it uses a similar thing to that. There is rules for interdiction fire. The way that the terrain or the ranged fire works out is, if you've ever played Soldiers by SBI, it's a similar concept where different terrains have a defensive value, and the total firepower, you get a ratio against that defensive value, and then you read dice as a value from 11 to 66. So, I'm trying to think of anything else I can really say about the game, but, this is I don't want to say it's a complex game, but it's more more tactical than our other games. So there's a good deal more complexity just in terms of the situations that can develop out of this. And it's a pretty short game. One way or another, it's going to be clear one player is winning, or so you're able to play, a couple times within a sitting. There's different types of fire modifiers. There's no, there's no mechanics for, like, shot combat, because that happens so rarely, it just wasn't worth writing a whole set of rules for. But, yeah, I think that basically gives you a quick idea of what the game involves. It will be, these are not the final counters. I have to make a couple changes. We're going to add one or two more, mnemonics to make things more readable. But this is probably, we're going to probably approve this, if not today, in the near future. Again, the name of the game is Mons 1914 at Villers Cotterets. My name's Ray Weiss, and this game is published by Conflict Simulations LLC. You can buy this game and more on our website, which is www.consimsltd.com. Thanks again for checking out the video, and I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.